welcome to Homo Politicus. This is Enterprise Television. Kingsley Bassey is my name. Let's talk to you about this developing story today, and it is one from a conversation we had just a few days ago. And in a striking turn of events, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has withdrawn a controversial bill, which we talked about a few days ago, that sought to make voting compulsory for all eligible Nigerians. And the bill, co-sponsored with Daniel Adama Ago, it seeks to amend the Electoral Act 2022 to enforce mandatory participation in national and state elections, initially advancing to the second reading in the House, maybe because, the Speaker sponsored the bill. I don't know. But the proposal sparked widespread public backlash, and critics raised concerns over the perceived infringement on citizens' freedom of choice and the lack of trust, really, in Nigeria's electoral system. And, that's maybe is the crux of the matter. But, well, the Speaker's office later cited extensive consultations with stakeholders, something they should have done before, as a reason for withdrawing the bill. And that signals a pause, if not a pivot, in how electoral reform is approached in Nigeria. Anyway, let's get talking about this today. Again, welcome to Homo Politicus. Kingsley Bassey is my name. I'm joined today by Innocent Aduluba. He's the political commentator. Many thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure. I remember we discussed this just on Friday.
Yeah, interesting. And today we've seen the twist, not something we see a lot. Maybe, with the National Assembly, you see these things, but sometimes you see them force bills down the throats, figuratively speaking, of Nigerians. But what do you say? Does the Speaker's decision to withdraw this bill, do you think it reflects responsiveness to public opinion, or do you think that this suggests really, a lack of preparation and maybe foresight in terms of legislative proposals?
Both.
Really? Yeah.
Both, yeah. But like I asked you the other day, the bill is to whose benefit? To whose benefit? Because I will start the same way I started last week. The love of the Speaker and indeed the entire National Assembly for mass voters' participation should stream from the National Assembly. The National Assembly of the Senate and the House of Reps, Federal House of Reps, should show Nigeria the example of voting by digitizing voting on the red and green chambers. So if a bill is to be voted for, we should see, the National Assembly has not served Nigerians the dosage of representation to the fullest. In representation, you know who is your rep, what level of involvement they are on bills being discussed, or how they push forward bill that pertains to your area, and then indeed the entire country. And then you see what they vote for, what they abstain from, what they vote against. Since 1999, Nigerians have not seen this up to 1% out of 100, because it is beclouded in the voice votes of ayes and nays. And I can guarantee here that I see that it is not all senators that participate in the ayes or the nays. That again does not even reflect those who abstain. So maybe this bill can be visited again at an appropriate time if it's not a bad bill. But there are too many. It's like the National Assembly offering Nigerians water in a basket. Before it gets to us, the basket would have been empty, and those are the trust deficits.
But would you commend the Speaker, the sponsors of this bill, the Speaker and another lawmaker, Adama, that they have withdrawn this bill?
Well,
at this time, because of the backlash,
Like I said last week, I don't support the bill. But again, politics in Nigeria is on power, and power is might. You can see the speed the bill was going. So if it went through, my voice may not have counted. I can't go and stop it. So but that it has been withdrawn is a breather. It's welcome. That's why when you ask me which, I say it's both. It's both credit and the reverse.
What does this backlash mean to this public backlash? Does this, from your point of view, reveal what the state of trust in Nigeria's electoral system and indeed political leadership is in the country? And the withdrawal too, vis-a-vis the withdrawal, if you get what I mean. So this backlash, you think that it's citizens are getting, because people really thought about this, apart from the media speaking about this, people really voiced out and said, oh, this should not be. We cannot let our rights be trampled upon.
I think Nigeria's political culture and democracy, for me, is among the slowest in developing. Sometime during the President Obasanjo's administration, you hear our nascent democracy, our nascent democracy. Yaradua, our nascent democracy. Good luck, Jonathan. Nascent began to fade. As soon as a new party, the APC came, nascent has disappeared. And a child, specifically a girl, born in 1999, some have finished their NYSC and are already married parents. And our democracy has not grown like that. Budget year in, year out. So it is that development of democracy that will develop Nigeria's economy. Because a good economy is the security of any democracy. And it is the laws and policies that enables and drives economy. Otherwise, it will hold back the wheels of commerce, and then development will be stunted. We run an election where up to last year, the last of the runoff in Edo State, Monday Okwebolo, His Excellency, the governor of Edo State, emerged. The elections are yet, how do they say it? When you say something, it's like a broken record. There are three cadres of political culture. Parochial political culture. It's primitive. It's, you can even vote for somebody just because you know him as your neighbor, is your language. Competence, 0. Subjective political culture, 50%, 50-50. Participant political culture. So our political culture, we should grow it. That's what I mean by the democratic development. When we grow it, Basi, you can't wait. You'll be looking at the calendar for the next election day to go and vote.
Especially when those you put there, elected, whether you voted them or not, those there, the incumbents are not doing so good, right? You'll be looking forward to the next one.
The opportunity to
well, that said, let's turn attention to, again, the move by, or the statement made by the speaker when this was withdrawn. His office did say that they did this because they consulted, they had stakeholders consultation. Should this be happening now? Because, I mean, what it should be, correct me if I'm wrong, from your point of view, is that these lawmakers represent their constituencies, the good people of their constituencies. So they consult with them and say, what would you like to see? Of course, they take initiatives to introduce bills without necessarily consulting with them. Should they have consulted first, sampled opinion maybe, to see if this was going to be, or, what they've done now, introduce a bill, take time, spend time, resources, introduce a bill, and now they're saying, oh, we have consulted for that, and now let's withdraw this.
My grandfather told me something. He said the government are those who come to the village once every 4 years. I laughed. He said they come once every 4 years to campaign. Then they disappear. So that means they make Olympic appearances, quad annual. Now, when they go, the government you see are those who come for levies, taxes, then government comes again. So that consultation, interaction between the elected and the electorate in Nigeria is almost taken for granted. Rather, they handpick 1, 2, 3 key people in a community, and most times, I stand to be corrected, is money induced. So money is given to 3-4 leaders of the community. I can influence about 100 people. You can influence about 200. I take and share here, you share here. And then I tell my, but this is what Senator A or Rep A wants to do. Let's support him. And the senator gets the feedback that the community has agreed, has been briefed. There are lots of offices they open in their constituencies, but I don't think the entire masses who voted them ever go there again until the next election. Perhaps politicians should be more engaging in rallies, town halls, make these things, just bring it to the way we run our politics in Nigeria. It's classified and then it becomes too elitist. Somebody who is a good political product but without the means doesn't see himself, but maybe in a town hall. Even this politician can even recognize successors that they can groom. The kind of intelligent questions they ask, the kind of involvement and interactions. Maybe I would say on that score, your question, you are right. The movers of these motions acted prematurely. What is happening now, if it has not happened before, is what ought to have been that would decide what step that will bring you out to command.
We've got to go, just before we do so, one last one. The focus, they said, when this was introduced was to encourage Nigerians to step out on election day to vote. That's improve voter turnout and ensure that the percentage is greater than this. I know you mentioned something around that with your first comment, your very first response to me today, but how do you think we can improve voter turnout through maybe, I don't know, through reforms, further reforms, maybe further bills introduced, I don't know, maybe incentives? What do you think we can do to ensure that the goal of this bill in the first place, now withdrawn, but the goal can be achieved still without necessarily reintroducing this bill?
Well, that previous goal, if achieved, would have been out of coercion. Nigerians who don't want trouble, okay, they are forcing us to vote, let's go and vote. And then the government will look at statistics.
Will still not vote.
But again, a few percentage may have been pushed out.
Have been spurred to do so.
And then they say figures or facts don't lie. We will go and read it and say, oh, based on this policy is working.
And we'll thank the sponsors of the bill.
Oh, well. Meanwhile, the volition to achieve it. You're asking me to give political strategies and consultation for free. I have children's fees to pay. And, well, anyway, patriotically speaking, I would like politicians to be more friendly with their constituents. Just the way they are with those at their level. Sadly, I'll mention a name like Peter Obi. He's the man who walks among, you see everybody just touching him. There's this other side, you see people with, even the Osun Governor Adeleke, even with his, he goes into a crowd and dances with, as in, let the masses not see the person they elected a few weeks, months, years ago as a new demigod. Let those people, and that's where the democracy in Nigeria is funny. In federal democracies worldwide, nobody lives in the state capital like Abuja. Like our beloved Senate President Godswill Akpabio from Akwa Ibom. What's his constituency now? That's where in Akwa Ibom.
Oh, okay.
What's his constituency?
I think he'd be also.
Yes, that's where he will stay. When they have meetings in Abuja, he will go there. 2 weeks, 3 days, he will come back. His people see him. He has a job or business he does that people know him for. So a way of generating more voters, if you ask me, is this method and then enlightenment. A politician, look at, let me use in Benue, Zone C, Senator Abamoru is from Zone C. He comes home around Otukpo, Ogbokolo, his area, and lives among them. When there is a sitting, you go to the house, you hold your meetings, you come back. That will inspire, oh, and another election is coming. Possibly by then, he has garnered support a lot. People are already gearing, let's go and vote this our person. Or there could be a column in a newspaper or social media. You drop tips on why you should vote, why you should support your government, why you should uphold democratic institutions. When this happens repeatedly, and also the government should mandate political parties. It is the job of one of the job of political parties is political socialization and enlightenment.
All right.
You know.
Okay. I mean, I'm trying to rack my head now. I think Akpabio represents the people of Ikono, something like that. But yeah, pardon my memory. But yes, we've got to go now. Many thanks for joining me today. We'll continue to monitor this development. When we had this conversation the last time about the compulsory voting, we're debating whether or not this should be pushed. But now it's been withdrawn. Well, I suppose we'll see how things go from here. If it's going to be, now that it's been withdrawn, if it's going to be reintroduced some other way or completely, withdrawn, we'll see how that goes.
No,
but
I would rather advise
yes,
that the National Assembly face urgent national priorities.
Okay.
Urgent national priorities. What states are farming with tractors at this time to curb food inflation? Other health, education. Face up, this voting is down our.
Well, I suppose these lawmakers and indeed politicians need votes, to return to. So they would rather.
So this is rather a priority on their own.
For them than
than
culture, right?
Than favoring the masses.
I suppose again, this is me just imagining why this is a priority. But yes, we've got to go now. Many thanks for joining me again. Innocent Aduluba, we appreciate that. He's a political commentator and broadcaster. We appreciate you being a part of the show today. It's been Homo Politicus. Stop by the comment section. Let me know how you feel now about this withdrawal by the sponsors of the mandatory bill in Nigeria. Kingsley Bass is my name. Until next time, may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I guess even the set cannot wait for us to go. We've got to go. Thank you very much and bye for now.